very soft spoken, but it may not be fact all the time. Sometimes people are very soft spoken, but they may not be correct, speaking very mild. So being soft spoken, yeah, being able to speak softly, I'm not talking about the voice being very low, able to be soft spoken, speak with good words. Even if you are going to refuse it in a nice way. If you're going to judge someone, say it in the nice way. Yeah, that's what it means, being soft spoken, which means choosing the right words, words which will not hurt others, but get the message across in a very nice way, so the other person does not feel hurt, but he understands, okay, the mistake, or he understands whatever it is, and being soft spoken. One small example I can give you, like this. Before that, soft spoken, the topic is actually soft spoken for teachers, but actually this quality is not just for teachers, for every human being in all walks of our life. Being able to be soft spoken is very, very, very useful, and it makes us walk through life very well, and it keeps our entire inner self very confident. Yeah, actually, only those who are quite confident get the quality of being soft spoken. Yeah, uh, but this word soft spoken has got many meanings. That's what I insist again and again. Soft spoken, using the right words, and correct words, words which do not hurt others, but gets the message across. Sometimes being in a school, this particular topic may not be very suitable for in a classroom, very noisy classroom, teachers, and in a middle school, elementary school. Yeah, maybe not possible. But this is certainly possible among colleagues. This will keep the working environment very ambience, very nice. Yeah, when you are with your colleagues, how you are exchanging classes, duties, holidays, leave, and helping others, each other, and exchanging your good methodologies in teaching. Being soft spoken with your colleagues, yeah, it keeps the working environment very nice. For example, like that they usually say the politeness, and uh, once the wind and the sun had a small argument about who is very stronger. So the wind said, I'm very stronger. See, a traveler was there. There was a traveler who had a lot of clocks, big hanging clock wearing with him, and agreed to settle the argument between the sun and the uh, wind. So they decided whoever is able to blow off the cloth of the traveler, he is the most stronger person. So the wind, it started blowing very hard and hard and hard. As the wind became stronger and stronger and stronger, the traveler actually started holding the clock very tightly so that it will not move away from him. So however hard it tried, the clock could not be blown away from his body. But the sun's turn came, and the sun mildly started showing its warmth on his body, slowly started shining, and little by little he started feeling warm, and automatically removed the clock and threw it away. So what this means, when you are going to use harsh words with people, they are going to become more and more resistant. Yeah, and the first reaction will be like, how he can use or she can use, how that person can be so hard, how can you use this such a word, hard word, how can. And being soft spoken also has another big quality, is like you become quite very approachable. People are able to come talk to you, approach, and you will be a person who's very easily communicable. You can see in day to day life, even starting from you can start from in any institution, a security guy who is quite very soft nature, talks to everyone. People will start talking to him. He will have a lot of communication, a lot of friends on a way. He may be in the parking lot, but you will see he has a lot of friends. Many people will be talking to him. But the same position, a security guy who never talks, who is very rough and tough, he says, hey, park here, park there, don't park here. You will find people never talk to him. This is from the very lowest to the topmost position that we, whatever position we occupy in life, being soft has a great role to play in our life. And certainly, not just in a professional life, this helps us in our personal life too. Yeah, being soft spoken, there is a moral story about being soft spoken doesn't mean that like you accept all injustice and you were okay with every nonsense going around with. That's not what a soft spoken means. Soft spoken means, as I said, use the right words. Yeah, use the right words, soft words, so that people get the message, communication happens, and there is a good ambience created. There's a small moral story which I don't know how many of you might have read that or uh, gone across. This is a story of coffee bean, egg, and the carrot. It's a moral story about coffee bean, egg, and carrot. Uh, the coffee bean, egg, and carrot. All the three are put in different pans, and they started. You keep boiling it. Last after boiling it, what happens? First, let's take the case of the egg. You boil the egg, you take it out, yeah, and you break it, and you see the egg has become quite soft, quite. I mean, tight. It has become. It will bounce like a ball now. Yeah, it's completely resistant. It has become. Eh, uh, but when you take the carrot, it would have become very soft. The toughness would have been completely lost. You just hold the carrot after fully boiled, it will become like a powder, like it you can crush it with the very smallest possible force required. Hello, hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible, sir?
You are audible, sir. You continue.
Okay.
You are audible. You
So,
continue.
okay, sir. But let's if you take the case of the coffee bean. The egg was in the boiling situation. It got fully boiled in a very hard and tough situation, and it became very hard. Yeah, it became bounceable, and it changed its nature completely. Fine. Carrot, on the other hand, it also lost its nature, totally gone, and it became soft like a powder. You can crush it like, and it may become very soft. Yeah, with the smallest power, we can crush it. But when you come to the coffee bean, what had happened to the coffee bean? It was in the hot water, but what it did, it gave us a very beautiful aroma. People are like, they're just looking in, they will say, hey, what a beautiful coffee smell. It gives us a very beautiful aroma, and something very good comes out of it. It never lost fully, but it has given us something very nice. So usually they quote this example to show you that being in hard situation also people can give out the best in them. Yeah, best in them. This needs the quality of being soft spoken. If you are quite soft spoken, even the environment ambience you can change it. If in other person who is talking to you is very hard, very rough and tough, you're going to be soft. Certainly that will influence the other person, because words are something very, 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 very important. They are not just taken for granted in any language. The word and the way you say it, and the way you say it, you present it, the kind of sound, the way it's being toned in, yeah, it has a very huge effect. That's why you can see a lot of and these days how to articulate yourself the best way. There is a lot of courses even in net these days. So many are available. You can see why the people are talking about articulation, how to say the words, articulate in an effective way, how to say the right word in the right way, so that it has the correct effect. So being soft spoken makes a person approachable is very very one, and he is able to create a very beautiful network. Imagine in a working place, you are able to be fine with everyone, you are able to communicate, everyone is able to communicate with you. What happens when you are not able to be easy to communicate, being in authority position also, people, you will come to know the real thing. People will try to be honest. This will uh, force or it will influence people to be their best and to be honest with you. They will not make up stories. They will come up with what was really happening, because they understand this is a person who is approachable, who will talk to us, who will listen to us, who will find the correct solution for us, who will help us and help the environment and the ambience and everything. So that's what it means, being soft spoken. Yeah, that's an important quality. In this, being soft spoken, as I said from the beginning, the words matter. The words matter. For this, you can see there are a lot of words to refuse. You may refuse it by absolutely saying, no, it's not possible. I may not be able to do it. So there are different ways, degrees of saying refusal. Yeah, I don't want to go into English language very deeply. What are the uh, in, innate words which are very hard, which are very soft? Yeah. So being soft spoken has certainly a huge effect in our working environment, in our personal life, and it makes us approachable. Once when somebody is approachable, it is half the problem is solved. In many schools, in teaching environments, in ambience, we will see people have, oh no, no, I will not be able to tell them, no, it's not possible to explain. We will make some arrangement, we will do it ourselves, and things go wrong in this way. That uh, we are not approachable, then everything started building ice, building some blocks in between. The communication gap happens, and this will certainly stop the workflow, fluent flowing of the work. Yeah, this will not enhance the fluent work when people are not fluent, when the emotional quotient, they say. E- yeah, emotional quotient. Now IQ has gone now emotional quotient. People are talking about EQ. See, emotional quotient, they say it's far more important than being IQ, intelligent quotient. Yeah, how much IQ you have, it doesn't matter. But how good your EQ, emotional quotient is, that's what is very, very important. And this emotional quotient has EQ has a very direct connection with your way you speak and you behave with people, how you take things. Yeah, how you take things that happen around in the ambience in the working place. You happen to be late for the class sometimes, you're not able to manage, or you have some health issues on a particular day when managing a class. How do you talk, how to approach, how to behave in the environment? Because in teaching is one profession which needs an absolute dedication, and not just dedication. I would say it's dedication, because if you fail, if you tune yourself for that particular profession, you become very successful in all other fields. Yeah, in family, in friends, in environment. Because one thing is, it keeps you always updated. You have to be an updated person in your subject. Know how, what are the latest things, technologies, how things move around. Yeah, what way we can happen. And another thing, if you are in a school or college, you happen to be with young minds all the time, certainly far younger than you. So you interact with young minds. You certainly have those influences of being interacting with the young minds, that activeness, the swiftness, the fastness. You would have seen, even I have seen my teachers, school teachers, they have become quite old, aged, elderly, and still they are very active, the way they talk, because that influence of having been with young minds all the time. Yeah, so this has a huge influence. So this teaching field has this important about EQ, and for this emotional quotient, the beings using the right words, soft words, good words, words which will not hurt others. There are always words possible. Instead of saying no, it's not possible, you may go. You can say it in a far better way. You can explain the situation. Yeah, whether much soft words, maybe some more words you may be needed, but that's fine. We use it. The person on the other side is able to understand the situation better. Yeah, and the same way, EQ EQ has a great control over your anger. Yeah, never take a decision in the when you are in an angry way. Yeah, never speak too much. Yeah, just wait, drink some water, and take some time and approach the situation after a while. Yeah, that will help you. These are the very few techniques that you may is needed for being soft spoken person. That soft spokenness is one of the major role player, yeah, in controlling your emotion. That's called emotion quotient. The person who is soft spoken generally is someone who is able to handle their EQ very well. He has got a high EQ, emotional quotient. So, soft spokenness is certainly needed in the profession of teaching, but certainly it's one of the main thing in our throughout our life actually. If you are able to soft spoke communicate, get the things even with our children or with our life partner or with their relations, even in relation, the person who is soft spoken gets to a lot of people get attached with them because, as I said, approachability. Another thing, they arrive in good emotional equation. They tend to have, tend to possess automatically. That emotional quotient becomes very high with the person who is soft spoken. Yeah. So in this little time, I could only share this much, and I'm very thankful to Umid having given me a chance to uh, just say a few things, share a few things about being soft spoken. Inshallah, I hope soft spokenness helps us to be very successful, and may Allah give us this nice quality which will make us successful in our profession, in our personal life, in all endeavors of life. Yeah. With these few words, I would like to end. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sir?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Shamsuddin Sahab has pointed out very important message. Soft speaking is a good quality, but he differs that a soft spoken teacher, a teacher cannot be soft spoken in a class. That we have to take care because many successful teachers, we found them more soft spoken. But this is also a situation where very rough students are there. Their very cool words doesn't pacify the students, aggressive students. There, our voice have to be raised there, and it will be depends on the situation. As professor told, it is the situation which requires whether speaking soft word is needed or harsh word is needed. But anyhow, all harsh words will have a very bad effect, very bad consequences, very bad long-lasting memories. We have to avoid. So being soft and being having soft-spoken persons around us is a good quality. So Professor Shamsuddin has brought all the angles before us. It is up to us to decide. Thank you very much, Professor Saab. With this, this program comes to an end. Again, we are going to meet tomorrow. Another two learned speakers, they will be speaking on very important topics. I request all of you to join tomorrow. I request all of you to invite your friends, your classmates, your schoolmates, your colleagues to this program. because half an hour Islamic teaching, half an hour academic thoughts, it will enrich our brain, it will enrich our thoughts, and then surely it will make us a perfect person, a perfect teacher. With this, the program comes to an end.